Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast.
This is Camp Slash Horrorcast Season 2, Episode 14, The Fly.
If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/wearepodcastnetwork and youtube.com/wearepodcastnetwork. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast, so what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. and if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast. Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday, live at 8 p.m. here on Twitch. I am your head camp counselor, Duck. I'm here with other head camp counselors. We have David. I want to be the first insect politician, Jessup. David, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Excellent, excellent. Next, we got Javi. You're a fucking drag, you know that? Sorry, Hobbs, I didn't mean to give you that one. But Javi, how are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. I'm feeling the opposite of a drag.
You are the opposite of the drag. You are definitely high energy, so this is going to be fun. Next, we've got Jay. I think I'm becoming Brundlefly McClintock. Jay, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Good, good, good. And finally, we got Greg. Better watch out. He eats chocolate bars, McKinney. Greg, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Fuck yeah, this is Greg's movie, so we're so happy he's here to watch it with us, or well, at least talk about it with us. What we are talking tonight is The Fly, with a release date of August 15th, 1986. Running time, 96 minutes. Budget, 9 to 15 million, with a take of 60.6 million. So this definitely made back its budget. Synopsis. When scientist Seth Brundle, Jeff Goldblum, completes his teleportation device, he decides to test its abilities on himself. Unbeknownst to him, a housefly slips in during the process, leading to a merger of man and insect. So, The Fly, yes. History, I'm going to start. I have zero history with this movie, just watched it today, so I'm out of the running for history. Mr. David Jessup, what's your history with The Fly?
Saw it first weekend it came out. Absolutely loved it. It's one of my top 5 horror films of all time. I think it's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Right on. And you saw it in theater along with
saw it in
Alien
theater.
around the same time, right?
Yeah. It was a great summer for sci-fi and horror.
Fuck yeah. Javi, how about you? What's your history with the movie?
Actually, I saw The Fly 2 first, and
Yeah,
I found it absolutely terrifying. And there's just, like, to this day, I'm a 34-year-old man. The ending of The Fly 2, with it just coming out of the fucking little doggy door, that still shakes me to my core to this day. And then I went back and saw the original fight with Mr. Goldblum, and I was like very shocked to see that Jeff Goldblum, Dr. Eden Malcolm, could be a villain and like do horrid things to the guy from fucking Men at Work's hand, and like fucking, it was just crazy. He broke a dude's wrist. I was like, Malcolm doesn't do that. What's this? It was very traumatizing as a kid, but I fucking love that movie so much. It's so good.
It's really good, dude. It's really good. Just watching it today, I was like, holy shit, I've been missing out for a while. How about you, Jay? You said you were watching The Fly 2 just today. Is that right?
Yeah, I watched The Fly with Jessup last week, and then today I decided to go back and check out the sequel. I tried watching the first one at a young age, and that scene that y'all are talking about where he breaks the dude's arm, I checked out for probably 2 or 3 years and said, nah, I'm good. I can do very gory deaths, like with heads getting chopped off and things like that, but injuries, like gruesome injuries, really fuck me up, because it's like, that guy's got to live with that. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I eventually saw it, and I actually have the opposite opinion of Jeff Goldblum. After watching this movie, Jeff Goldblum to me was the scariest man alive. And anything Jeff Goldblum did, I was like absolutely terrified. And then a little bit after I saw this movie, I saw a movie relatively unknown movie he did called Vibes with Cyndi Lauper, where they both play psychics and he's the good guy. And I'm like, wow. It was very interesting. And then of course, he did Jurassic Park. But yeah, I loved it. It's easily, to me, it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Just the whole premise of it.
Yeah, it definitely holds up 100%. I thought it was great today. All right, Greg, we're getting to you. Why did you want us to watch this? What is this movie? What's your history?
I remember this movie from whenever I was really, really little and way too young to watch this movie. And I saw a couple of key scenes in it that upset me and disturbed me for a long time. And coming back and revisiting it and watching it now, I really, really like it. But I swear, the first time I saw those, I was very young and never forgot those scenes. And you've already brought up one of them, but the other one is, brutal, absolutely tough. So, that's where I came in. I watched it again today and really, really enjoyed it. Appreciated the story and the acting and everything about it. Dynamite movie.
Greg, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm zooming with this serial killer because you got the mask behind you, and right next to the mask is that fucking hammer.
Oh, it's definitely a
Well, you know what?
what?
Yeah, I've got a couple of them here. It's
Greg, why do you have so many hammers, bro? And that mask?
These are tools, we need them.
Murder Dungeon. All right, guys, let's talk about the movie. I want to begin by saying, boy, the love story works. And, it's only a half of this movie that is really contained to the love story, but using that first 45 minutes to set up, what is literally just a meet cute, basically, it really lays the foundation for what the movie becomes in the second half. And I think it works because there's chemistry between the actors and they were dating in real life.
Yeah.
So I think that might add to it. But even starting the movie today, whenever he's talking to her at the cocktail party or whatever it is, I'm like, she has no interest in this man. And then she does jump in bed with him rather quickly though. So I was like, that happened within 10 minutes. I was like, all right, right on.
Well, this is also one of those movies that would never work today because there's no fucking way a woman in 2021 goes to a guy's house that has a Texas Chainsaw Massacre murder door, by herself, and then walks in and sees that fucking place and stays. This movie would be 5 minutes long today.
Yeah, get out. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, boy, she's sticking around. I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously he won her over when he shows her the teleportation. And that scene was kind of sexy too when she takes off the stocking.
Oh, dude, Gina Davis oozes sex, man. She's beautiful. And I, after watching this, I'm like, you know what? I would say, I know Jeff Goldblum does an amazing job, but I almost feel like this is also equally her film.
Yeah,
absolutely.
She does her emotions are so real and so raw, she is so good.
She sells that creature effect at the end. This creature effect is amazing. The fact that she looks at that thing like it's still him,
yes, that
sells it. It's unbelievably good. But we'll talk about the creature effects later on. The romance aspect of it with the creepy Stathis is a douche. Thank you, Jessup, for that. That guy is a piece of shit. POS hardcore.
That guy plays some of the greatest assholes ever.
What else was he in?
Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Yeah.
He was in Curly Sue. What are those beans? He was that guy in Curly Sue. He was in Men at Work.
He's like mean John Ritter. That's what
yes.
Jessup and I decided.
Yes, he is.
He is bizarro John Ritter.
Yeah. If you guys ever watched the old Star Trek where they had the evil parallel universe where everyone had goatees, he is the evil John Ritter in that parallel universe.
Yeah, the second he showed up and he had a beard, I was like, beard in the 80s, that doesn't bode well. I bet you he's the bad guy.
And he's the guy that starts the whole thing, because without him doing that cover of the magazine, she doesn't get mad and leave, and then Goldblum doesn't get jealous and jumps in the pod. So he really deserved everything that happened to him at the end.
You don't
Yeah.
think that
He would have
that
jumped.
Jeff
in.
Goldblum would have gotten that pod? He was an eccentric.
Well, I mean,
It's like when you talk about it's like when they talk about Raiders of the Lost Ark on Big Bang Theory. If Indiana Jones didn't do anything different, if he wasn't even in that movie, it would have been exactly linear. It would have done it would have ended exactly the way they said.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like the reason why it happened the way it did was it was at that moment the fly got in. So yeah, of course he would have done it, but she would have been there, and maybe the fly wouldn't have got in. But I have another quick question though. What I was telling Jay, we're watching it. It's like, why does he even have to mess with trying to get people to be transporting around? He could have been a billionaire just transporting around inanimate objects.
Right.
You know, he would have been the fucking Amazon before Amazon. You know,
he was thinking on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He got greedy.
Humanity.
Yeah, he got greedy. He got what he deserves. Is what you're saying.
I kind of think that this whole thing wouldn't have started if Gina Davis hadn't insisted that she was going to release the story before he was ready to.
Ooh, hot take.
Blame the woman, Greg. There you go.
Well, yeah, I mean, that to me is the beginning of the problem.
No, you're right. The problem is, if you go back even further than that, is that he opened his mouth, but like he said, he was lonely, and he
wanted to share.
He was also determined to get in that machine.
He was determined to get in that Gina Davis, I think, and that shit worked out too.
Let's blame who really is to blame, and it's whatever city they were in. It was whoever their city manager was, because I got friends who were cops, and the amount of power that he needed to generate these pods would have definitely set some red flags. So clearly there's someone getting paid out of the top that we don't even know. And how does he get this money? Do they ever explain how he got this money?
They do. Yeah. It's a company. It's a big company that and he kind of mentions it very quickly in the beginning. But it's a company that's funding him, basically.
Well, that's the other thing is he said, this technology doesn't belong to me. Once it's finished, it will belong to them, and this will be my greatest life work.
So he's like a contractor.
Yeah. And like literally, I like how he describes, like, he's like, I'm really not that smart. I just took the other smart people's pieces and put them together. And so that kind of sets up like he is a risk taker, and he does think outside the box, and he is willing to take this chance that ultimately leads down the road. Like no one would have, like, it's a genius concept to be like something else gets in the machine, because you know what, like when you're on the cusp of something big, like you're not thinking about those minor details, you're thinking about the big picture, you're thinking about the fame and the fortune. And obviously he was chasing that a little bit, right? He just wasn't ready for it. And like just the idea of the creature, the small, the bug in the machine, I guess that's where it comes from, right? I guess it's so freaking scary and wonderful, and what comes of it like is just amazing, and the first 40 minutes, like I said, setting up the love story and showing how much time they spend together, showing that she's kind of using him but not really, she's starting to fall in love with him, and there's a chemistry and a romance. And even once he starts becoming erratic and a little bit more violent, the fly aspect starts taking over, she's already madly in love, and she's going to stick by him. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I was like, this works, and it really makes the movie work.
And also, can we talk about how fucking emotionally abused she was by both men? It's like she is like in between two jealous assholes.
Yeah.
One's the ex-boyfriend and news a new. She's just like bombarded with these fucking assholes. But yet she's in love with one of them, and she goes back to her ex for help on the other one. And that's another thing Jay and I were talking about, was how great this would be as a 3-person, 1-location play. It would be fucking amazing.
Ooh, shit. That's a good fucking idea.
Well, okay. Well, and another thing to go back with the whole Gina Davis thing, I think she's kind of using Stathis.
For sure.
Because
100%.
For one thing, she still let him have a key to her apartment. So I kind of got the vibe that, maybe every once in a while she gets a little itch that they get to scratch. Then Stathis gets really weird when she finds a new dick, and
he literally says
so
it.
Stalker.
Yeah.
He gets really weird.
Classic
He gets
stalker.
really weird.
Yeah, he says it. He says, "You jumping on that cock," and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like,
No. But yeah, what does he say? What is it?
he's got a big dick or something like that. Yeah. I was like, oh god damn. And she doesn't notice, she doesn't say anything. So obviously,
she stumbled onto something huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeff Goldblum's 6'5". The guy's packing a Buick.
He's got it. He's got it.
There's no doubt about that.
Plus, he's a creep. Creepy dudes in life just always seem to have just massive Johnsons. It seems. That's
like Langley.
That's God's lottery because Goldblum's not the best looking dude. So he's like, don't worry, man. I'm gonna put it in a hog leg.
I don't know. I think he's a stud in this movie. I'm just gonna say it. Like
he's a good-looking cat, and he's like charismatic, and
he's got it going on.
He's eccentric. He to me is the definition of eccentric.
Like 80s fucking Goldblum was like killing it,
and that mullet.
90s, yeah.
I love my
80s Goldblum could fucking get it, bro.
Yeah, he can get it. He can totally get it.
I love this. I love the scene in the bar when he picks up the girl and she's like, "Hey, what do you think? I'm not drunk. I'm with the guy in a hooker," and he doesn't say no. He just like, he just totally blows her off.
She looked like Trailer Park Tammy for crying out loud.
By the way, it's so weird. We sometimes we talk about the Mandela effect. I had a Mandela effect on this movie where I swore I saw her topless, but I don't. I just see like the side boob.
There's a lot of side boob. There's a
lot of half boob.
Gina Davis side boob. And my memory was I saw the whole thing. So that was my Mandela effect. Was my
a lot of Gina Davis side boob and Gina Davis gum. That's what you That's just
he does got the gums. So all right, let's talk about. We talked a little bit about the beginning of it, but the transformation into the Fly, how subtle it is, and just slow the process is. I think they take the perfect amount of time, and then once they start ramping it up, they ramp it up perfectly at the end. But what is you guys' like favorite part of the transformation, hands down? Like, I mean, I like when they go big practical, but even just like how he had meth face, he had the blotches and stuff like that. I was like, holy shit! Like he does not look
out of a Junji Ito comic. It was fucking creepy.
Like a what comic?
Like a Junji Ito. He's a Japanese comic book artist that does specifically horror, and they're fucking amazing. And the way he looked in the face when he's all cracked out. My favorite scene though is when he holds the donut and he just pukes on it. And it's because he can't chew it because he's got no fucking teeth left.
And also, it was that look he made was like it was involuntary.
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry."
That's exactly what happened. And adding that into it, that he had to like throw the bile up on it for it to digest things, and it sets up what happens later with the hand and.
It's perfect, man. This movie really is perfect. Go ahead.
And I'm sorry. And just also in that scene, I really felt bad for him because he's like wide-eyed and just fucking scared, and he doesn't know what's fucking happening. And it's just like, oh fuck, dude, that's creepy and scary. But I feel so fucking bad for him too in that scene. And he was just like, look, he's like, I'm sorry. And he just didn't know what to do. He was lost.
His performance once he becomes the Fly is sublime. It's
the way he's twitching. He's always twitching. Yeah.
And the twitch he put in there, Cronenberg went to him and said, we got to have something that can carry over to the puppet Fly. So can you figure out something that the puppet could do that you could do? And he's like, he decided to do that quick head twitch. And that's what they copied over to the puppet. But it really works. Like it's got like that animalistic, like weirdness to it, or like insect movement, that where the real quick and stuff like that. It just really works. What were you gonna say, David? Or Jay?
Nothing. Go ahead. I'll say it later.
What if you ever like studied a fly and you see the way the fly takes its two arms and does its little Miyagi, I think he was trying to I feel like he was really channeling a lot of that with when he was just slowly devolving. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like when at the end when you see that giant puppet, man, I still thought it was Goldblum too. Did you all buy in?
I bought in.
I knew
what I mean.
I knew it was puppetry, but it does such a great job of dissolving, and the eyes ooze out, and everything's perfect when Jeff Goldblum's face breaks away and then exposes the fly head is so perfect. The eyes ooze out of the sockets. It's so good, man.
Yeah, I love it.
Academy Award. It won an Academy Award, man.
What do you think, Greg? What was your favorite part of the transformation?
Well, the whole transformation, I think I agree with Javi. It's just very, very sad to watch because there's no mystery to it. You know why these things are happening to him, and there's nothing to do about it but just sit back and watch your heart break as he gets worse and worse. He just falls apart. He pulls his tooth out. He pops his fingernail in the mirror, and it just every scene. The next time you see him, he's just getting lumpier and blacker and just dying. I mean, I guess the life of a housefly, of course, is much shorter than a human being. So whenever that fusion took place, he started to melt as you're watching it. And it was just like, you can't do anything but just feel bad about the choices that were made. I don't know. It's just very, very sad to me.
Well, it's also fun because as a scientist, you can tell he's excited about the transformation.
Yeah, he's like super interested in it too. And
yeah,
like marking it down, saving the parts that fall off and shit.
Right. And so and he's cataloging them in the cupboard and stuff like that. And
the Brundlefly Museum of History.
Yeah, and as he accepts like that he is the amalgamation of the two creatures, he says, I'm no longer Brundle, I'm the Brundlefly. And then he becomes the fly, more or less. It's such a fun transformation to watch, but it's the acting that sells it and the makeup on top of that. But you can see the acting through the makeup, but it's never over the top. Even though his acting seems like it should be over the top, it's not. It makes sense within the context of the film.
It fits.
Yeah, because they take the time to show his like almost like his like how amped he is after he comes out of the machine and how he's talking fast and how excited he is, and then how
he's going to town on the sugar and
he can make love for hours. And let's talk about that, how messy the apartment becomes. Oh my God, that was that hoarder vibe bothering anyone else? Because that was really getting to me.
To me, you know what it reminded me of? Because I watched the videos about it later, and they talk about how Cronenberg says it's a allegory on dying, how you're slowly dying. But I also felt it was almost like an allegory on drug addiction, because he gets addicted. He thinks it's the pod. He thinks traveling through the pod is what's giving him all this energy. And then you see his apartment gets messy, his skin starts rotting, and he starts, and so that's how I looked at it too. It felt, it was very much like a meth head almost.
Yeah.
That apartment had a meth head vibe to it. But my favorite part of the transformation, I think, was because it was so tragic, was when she gets the message from him to come back and see, because he's scared, and she shows up and he's walking with canes. I think that to me was like so devastating and just so sad. And it was, again, it's that whole like getting old.
And there's that scene afterwards where she comes back and he's climbing down the wall, and he's almost once again transfixed by the transformation. He's like, I'm a new creature. I'm becoming this thing. There's a lot of Jeff Goldblum ahs in this movie, which I appreciate.
I think that's when he does the whole dialogue of the whole monologue about a insect politician.
Yeah, I like that. That was fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. The only thing I'm bummed out about as far as the special effects go, and I was talking to Jay about it, and I know they probably couldn't do it, but man, I really wanted to see wings. I wanted to see fucking wings come out of his back.
There was a 2007 remake they were working on that was going to remake this movie halfway through. And then the second half, he was going to become a fly serial killer, and he would have wings and everything. Holy shit. I was like, that would have been kind of cool to see. But I don't know if you can remake this movie.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it will be different.
You shouldn't, but you can, yeah.
But they might go in a different direction altogether with it. I mean, it's a 30-year-old remake in and of itself. So
yeah. But this movie really is perfect.
It really is.
And I mean, we haven't even gotten to the fucking soundtrack.
Go ahead.
Howard Shore.
And if you look at the ending of this film, the way Howard Shore did the ending of 7, it's that same emotional, you just got gut punched, and it's that same tone, man. He's so good at that.
And he did Silence of the Lambs, which has got one of the most haunting, scores of all time.
Yeah. So fucking good.
What is he most known for? What is his big?
We pretty much just named him: The Fly, Silence of the Lambs, 7. And way more than that. I mean, did he win an Academy Award?
Well, I think he won quite a few, didn't he? Didn't he win one for?
Did he win for 7? I could have sworn
he's right there with John Williams and Danny Elfman for like when you talk about the greatest film composers of all time. He's right there.
I was going to say, didn't he do? I was going to say the Lord of the Rings movies.
No, yes. Yeah, maybe that's you. Yeah,
that's what he won an Academy Award for. But you talk about this movie having 3 characters. I think it has 5 characters. You have the 3 main actors, you have the soundtrack, and you have the special effects. I think those 5 characters are what really make this movie, and I really do. It's 96 minutes, It's so tight. It doesn't feel too long. It doesn't feel too short. The ending is absolutely perfect. And something I pointed out to Jay, he had noticed before, the very beginning, it's the way it's out of focus looks how a fly sees. And then it slowly gets in the focus of how a human sees.
I thought that too. I thought that was fly vision there for a second.
Yeah.
And then the transformation, like I said, it's so perfectly paced. And I'm not even just like the creature effects. The fact that he wakes up and he's super strong and he starts doing the gymnastic moves, you know what I mean? And just the way his attitude changes as he surges with the adrenaline of the fly and becoming this new creature. And then
he gets very rapey with the fucking pod. Like, you got to get in this.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think of it as rapey, but you're right. That's exactly right. Because he wants her to be able to fuck as long as he can fuck. He's like, I need to fuck. Like, but I mean,
you got to keep up with me.
But like, even though he went out and got some other tail too, she was awfully forgiving about that. She was like, she knew something was wrong, you know, even though he went out with Trailer Park Tammy and got some.
And the lines, the one-liners, be afraid, be very afraid. So
that is a classic. I did not know where it came from. I've heard that my entire life, you know. I didn't know that was the tagline for this movie. Mel Brooks. Thank you, Mel Gibson. Even though Mel Gibson
was supposed to be in it,
Mel Brooks though was the one who came up with that line, and Mel Brooks didn't want to be known as a producer on this movie because he was afraid people would find it as a comedy. And so whenever he finally got outed as a producer at the first screening of it, he handed out those little antenna things, like those little things like that with the antenna. So he kind of played into it. But I mean, what else is there to say about the movie? The movie is basically 2 acts. The first act's the love story. The second act is the horror movie, you know, and it's just so well paced and so well done. What do you guys think? What stands out?
Also, the social commentary on abortion. I mean, that was
I forgot about that
hot button issue in the 80s, and they fucking tackled that head on, and that fucking nightmare. See, you guys, Jay talked about the arm wrestling thing messing him up. It was that fucking what do you call it?
The grub, where she gave
the grub, right? That thing freaked me the fuck out.
The bloody sheets is where it got me, because I was just like, why is there blood on these sheets already? This can't be real. This has got to be.
And that's the director playing the doctor. That's what's his face?
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg is a doctor. But again, Gina Davis, man, just knocking it out of the park in that scene. Yeah.
How about the arm wrestling scene? The fact that you see the mucus go on the guy's hand and that's what cracks.
You know what? I never noticed that until Jay pointed that out.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I never noticed that before, man. Because I was always anticipating the breaking of the arm, you know?
Yeah, but because it's fluid.
Tore it right here, just like.
When I see, I didn't notice it the first time either, Dave. But the second time I saw the movie, and I noticed that the mucus was breaking down the arm for whatever reason, it made the scene much more palatable to me. I don't know. I think it's the science, but I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense
because you see that, and then okay, let's go forward and let's talk about the other extremely gruesome scene is what he does to Stathis. When he like spits on his hand and it fuses together. And it's
fucking really awesome.
And if that melting effect looked pretty similar, it's because Chris Wallace also did that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
With all that meltiness. So
he's when the guy's getting the face that's falling apart. Yeah. That's the same thing. Okay.
And the foot too. The foot, it's literally like it came right out of Raiders of the Lost Ark for me.
What's funny about that scene, and I pointed this out to Jay, I was like, man, Gina Davis really did take her time to come out and tell him to stop. It was almost like she was like watching, being like, okay, I'll let him fuck him up for a little bit. Oh, he's going for the head. Okay, that's too far. That's too far. She was up there the entire fucking time while he's down there, you know.
Would have went longer with the deleted scene, because I sent that to you guys earlier. He takes the foot and a little proboscis or whatever comes out and he starts licking up the blood in the foot. It's fucking gnarly and awesome, dude. It's so great.
Jay, it's badass. Jay, what is it about injury scenes that just like will just do you in? Is it because like most gory deaths are just like way over the top, and that injuries are just a little bit more subtle?
I'll tell you why. I was a big fan of Nip Tuck, and the whole reason behind y'all know how reconstructive surgery came about?
No.
It came about because of wars.
Okay.
And I saw a bunch of old pictures of like early reconstructive surgeries and the things they had to do for these guys, and these traumatic. I mean, body. You talk about the original body horror. Cronenberg's got nothing on actual war. What it does to the human body and human anatomy, and I think it's something about living through pain. I find almost more, hurtful than actually dying. That's why you see movies like Army of Darkness. You see movies with extreme gory pus, explosions. I mean, yeah, it's freaky, but they're dead. They don't have to suffer through it anymore. But injuries always get me. Like injuries like in MMA and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I just get queasy. Yeah. It's just always been that way. I don't know if I have a trigger for it, but
it's and also, like you said, that plays into this movie too, because you watch the decimation of a character that I think everyone probably likes him. Like, I think he's charismatic and he seems like a decent guy. Like, at no point until he starts yelling at her, you're like, holy shit, like this guy's kind of a dick right now. But like, I think that's the thing, is Jeff Goldblum's just so charismatic that you enjoy the character up to a point and you want him to succeed and you want things to go well. But it's also something sadistic there where it's kind of fun to watch him fall apart too. And maybe that's because we like the makeup effects, or maybe it's because we're involved in the story and we want to see, our sick sense of like wonder wants to see what's going to happen when the fly takes over. I don't know what it is, but I know as a cohesive piece of work, as a piece of art, it works very well. And I never seen it before, like I said, but that's definitely going to stick with me. 100%. It's going to be a movie that sticks with me and I want to share with other people. What else do you guys think about this movie?
Well, if you're in a love triangle and you're pregnant and your boyfriend's turning into a fly and you want to get an abortion, don't talk about it outside of the car. Do it in the car while you're driving away.
But even then, when he shows up and he breaks the fucking 80s looking Kyle,
cool.
which was badass. And why did the Stathis guy touch that? Did he cut his hand on it?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I was like, dude, why would you touch that? Fucking stupid. What happens to that guy? Is he in the second movie?
Yeah,
in the very beginning.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Oh, that's right.
He's actually out. He's actually kind of he's almost like the Yoda character in the second movie. But he plays like the most obvious movie drunk guy where it's so fake. I mean, yeah, John Getz definitely does a much better part in the first one.
And the second movie was made like 4 years later, but takes place 20 years later. Is that right?
No, it takes place almost right after this. It came out a few years after. No, it's the second movie is about the baby.
Yeah, Gina Davis has the baby,
and its birth is almost exactly like her dream, except that in the sequel there is an actual baby inside of the pod, and it's growing at it's like the original Jack. He's literally growing at an accelerated rate. Yeah. So
okay, so it does take place in the same timeline. That's why I was confused. I was like, how does? Because Eric Stoltz plays the second fly, right?
Yeah. Yes. Who's his love interest? Who's the girl in that?
That is Daphne Zuniga. She was the reason she got the part is because she was in Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, which was Mel Brooks. That's
and right. So he recommended her for that. A couple of choices for his son in the sequel these would have been some really interesting choices. I think y'all would have gotten behind at least one of these. Was Keanu Reeves and Vincent D'Onofrio. Both were, seen for it. If y'all want to talk about the sequel just a little bit, I really find it to be very ambitious. It doesn't have the highest score in Rotten Tomatoes, but as far as a sequel goes, that really stands on its own, 6 legs.
Yeah,
I think it does really well.
Yeah.
And it was directed by the guy who won the Oscar for makeup effects, right?
Special effects guy.
So he directed the sequel film, which happens quite a bit with horror movies. But I don't know, is The Fly a horror movie? It's its own category. It's psychological horror.
Body horror.
Absolutely a horror movie. Definitely a horror movie.
Did it start the body horror craze of the 80s?
No, that was Cronenberg started the body horror craze, I think.
Yeah.
Videodrome, a lot of people would say, is kind of one of the original ones.
What about the flesh and everything he does? The flesh That's what was so great about The Fly too. I mean, I didn't realize how much Cronenberg wrote the script, but he pretty much rewrote and did the entire script and rewrote all the entire dialogue. But boy, he has a lot of Videodrome dialogue in this. The whole
flesh, lots of flesh.
Yeah, talking about the flesh. And what was the big thing in Videodrome about at the end? There was a almost like a political chant.
Yeah.
Death to the flesh.
No, it's something like got to the new flesh.
Yeah, to the new flesh. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then he might shoot his brain. Videodrome. Wow, that'd be an interesting one to cover.
We'll get there. Greg, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to ask. I'm not sure. What is a body horror?
Jay, take over.
Body horror is a subgenre of horror that deals with manipulation of the human body itself. Going through a lot of changes. Some of the more classic movies that deal with it would be The Reanimator.
Oh yes.
From Beyond is another super classic. Probably
Lovecraft.
To me, the magnus opus of all body horror is Society. Society.
Oh, my bad.
David, have you ever seen Society?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, I'm insulted. But it's just where the body itself metamorphosizes, and of course, when he's changing into a fly, that's 100%. What's going down, and Cronenberg's definitely considered like a god of that. Him and probably Clive Barker.
Yeah, I'm looking at most popular body horror movies. Hellraiser's on here.
Yeah.
Martyrs, which is a film I've never seen, but I've always been told I need to. Martyrs is a French film.
It's a one seer. It's it is. I saw that movie
for a Dream. Like you get them watching it, you're like,
you seen it, Hobbs?
I've seen Society. Never fucking again will I watch it. I saw that shit when I was a fucking kid, and I made a promise. I'm never watching this movie again. No, thank you. Talk about day runners and week runners. That movie fucking haunted me for a few fucking
Society's
months.
on the list. Yep.
Oh, David, I will definitely watch Society with you anytime.
Okay, I'm in. Oh, Dead Ringers. That's another one.
Oh, Jeremy Irons.
Say, the classic version of a body horror is a werewolf. You know what I mean? Like the transformation itself is the idea.
Yeah.
But body horror, I always think of the 80s when I think of
The Thing. The Thing is a body horror.
I look at body horror, but I think one of the things that I think kind of might disqualify werewolf movies is that when you change into a werewolf, it can be looked at as a beautiful thing. And when it comes to body horror, being ugly is, I think, kind of like one of the pillars of it. Like The Thing. Yeah, none of those things are going to be in Playboy.
Body horror is like.
By the way, have any of you guys seen David Cronenberg's son is directing now, and he did a movie called Possessor. I have not seen it. Have any of you guys seen it?
I saw it on the list of body horror movies that I looked up earlier.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Well, guys, what else do you? Oh, Javi, did you have something you wanted to add too?
Oh, it's a body horror. Fucking Tusk also like.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
I don't know what it is about humans being turned into like animals. It just fucking, it's very disturbing. I found Tusk super disturbing. And even when I can see like the whole campy side of it, especially how fucking over the top the actual guy was and doing it and just how fucking ridiculous. So it's still disturbing for some reason. Just something about the fact that he got turned into an animal. He was conscious throughout the whole fucking thing. He knew what was happening. And eventually he completely lost his humanity, which at the end is what I found even more disturbing. Like, he was no longer a human. He was just living in a fucking zoo, eating fish like an actual walrus.
Oh, the Island of Dr. Moreau, the first one, not the shitty, awful one. But yeah, Dr. Moreau.
I like the shitty, awful one.
We can go back even further.
About the making of it.
Maybe the first ever body horror movie would be Todd Browning's Freaks.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Google gobble, Google gobble.
One of us.
Hey, speaking of turning into an animal, did you guys see Sweet Tooth on Netflix?
So fucking good. I fucking love that show. It's so good.
So fucking good.
Greg, what were you going to say?
Well, no, I heard something about the series Sweet Tooth, about how they're born as some kind of a human hybrid. With different kinds of animals.
It's very COVID heavy. It's very like there's a virus and there's so many COVID parallels, but it's done really well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get back. Let's get back.
Sorry, we got distracted.
Sorry, I had one more question, and it's related to this. Is there any connection with horror body movies versus, or body horror movies versus other movies where there's a difference between what happens in this horror movie is more magical and mystical versus this one over here is more scientific and is quasi rooted in nature, to where it could actually theoretically happen.
Yeah.
But this one's, Freddy and Jason and Mike Myers and all that stuff.
I think it comes down to if it could happen, and then also if it's like Jay was saying, if it's not a good thing. There's something about the body horror where it's a transformation and it's an awful experience is what makes it the body horror, and the fact that it could probably happen, which I think is what makes it so much more horrifying.
Yeah.
And H.P. Lovecraft, for being a horror icon, along with being a historically massive racist. and polygamist and all, or not polygamist, whatever he was. But Lovecraftian horror, to answer your question, Greg, is actually a pretty big marriage of science and magic put together, like alchemy and things of that nature. Even like From Beyond, and even Hellraiser to some extent. Even though he is unleashing a portal, there is a perfect box that you have to align in a certain scientific way for it to, it has to align with the straw. It's a big thing, but yeah, it's kind of a good marriage of the two. I think that's what I think when I think.
I mean, Clive Barker would be considered a modern day H.P. Lovecraft, wouldn't he?
Without being so
without
racist.
The racism.
Yeah.
I mean, but also you gotta look when H.P. Lovecraft was around, and that was pretty much, if you weren't a racist back then, you're like, what's wrong with you?
Well, plus it's Rhode Island. I mean, I think like that around that time it was probably 99.8%.
Jay, what is your shirt that has the Improv and Jason mask on it?
It's a Jolly Roger.
Oh, okay. So the Improv is the Improv mask, and that's the Jolly Roger. Okay, there we go. Gotcha. Yeah, I love that shirt, man. The shirt's
$6tees.com. You can get it for $6.
Boom. Boom. All right, guys. What about The Fly? Anything else you guys want to say specifically about the movie? Anything?
It's fucking perfect. There we go. It's perfect.
All right, let's go to
the deleted scenes. The deleted scenes were deleted for a reason, and it's got the perfect ending. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's probably pacings.
I got one more thing to add about Fly 2. I literally saw today one deleted scene from that movie. And it's so good that they deleted it. It's a scene where Eric Stoltz is he's beginning to transform, and he's in a car, and a group of kids, Boy Scouts, are screaming at him through this other car, and then they roll up their window, and he spits acid at the window. It's absolutely it's too slapstick to keep in the movie because it would have it lingered on Evil Dead 2 type stuff, but it's another version of the acid blood. That's all I can say.
Real quick, I want to know, is it worth watching back to back with this one, or do you think
absolutely? I think it's a great double feature because it literally plugs right into it.
Javis, what were you gonna say?
No, I was going to agree with Jay. It's a great movie to watch back to back. Shares in The Fly 2 with Eric Stoltz, and they just fucking the chemistry is just really good in that movie.
Is that Cher? The Mask. Oh, you saw what he did. You saw what he did.
No, but seriously, they're a good double feature to watch back.
Well, you forgot about Sam Elliott if you're going to go crazy with it.
And also,
give me a beer.
When you get done watching The Fly 2 with Eric Stoltz, watch the Back to the Future deleted scenes as Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly. That's the perfect fucking companion right there.
All right, let's go to recommend. I think, David, we know where you're at on this, but do you recommend it?
Fuck.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
It is a modern day classic, sir.
Javi, how about you? Recommend?
Absolutely, bro. It's so fucking good.
Sweet. Jay?
It's all right. Yeah, I'd
And Greg, who recommended it to all of us, do you recommend?
Yeah, I like it very, very much. I would say it's up there in my top 5. Absolutely.
4, 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, it's very, very close to the top. I love it.
All right, let's go to clips then. Let's watch this movie.
Hold on, before you start clips, Duck.
Sure.
Would you recommend it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I already know I'm gonna be like, have you ever seen The Fly? And everyone's like, yeah, I saw The Fly, you asshole. Who hasn't seen it?
And the special effects hold up, man. That's what's so great too.
Oh, they're so good. And by the way, on the clips, we're going to be watching a lot of the end of the movie. So just prepare yourself, because there was one scene where David pointed out last week. He said the lighting and how it just kind of fades out at the very end of the movie. I had to keep that in. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah,
devastating.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast.
Great fucking movie. Let's go to clips. We go quickly through these.
I hope you do you have side boobs?
Oh, no side.
What am I working on? I'm working on something that'll change the world and human life as we know it.
Change Amazon
or just a bit. You'll have to be more specific.
What do you want me to be specific here in this room with half the scientific community of North America eavesdropping?
So smooth. So smooth.
He knew what he was doing. Lots of ahs. Baboon, number one. I think I put the number inside in the wrong place.
And by the way, how cool is that? The text, you know, even though this is 1986, the text for the computer is very modern, even looking today.
Yeah, that computer was doing stuff there's no way it was doing back then. That's a government computer or something like that.
That computer looks like it should be trying to kill Hal.
That effect holds up. That is a good effect.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, spaghetti.
That's so good.
What does he do with the baboon? What does he do with the baboon?
I mean, does it die from that, or is it just twitching in the trash can?
It's alive. It knows what's going on.
I like to imagine that Gina Davis just stomps the shit out of it. Because she's like, we need to film you how upset you are right now. Quit focusing on this fucking baboon.
I do like that she, like the scene later, he transfers the steak from the one to the other. And she's like, I'm not going to eat that. There was an inside out baboon in there.
So many funny lines in this movie, man.
All right, that was quick because it was like 10 minutes into the movie. But hey, yeah.
You're very cute. You know that?
Am I?
Oh, fuck me eyes.
There's just something about her back in the day.
Yeah,
I know, dude. And the fact that she can use a bow and arrow, so fucking hot.
If you can score a chick in a fold-out bed, you are a sexual tyrannosaur.
That's that Goldblum, man. That's what that is. She was in Robin Hood, wasn't she? Who just said the bow and arrow?
She was actually in the Olympics for archery.
What?
Yeah, she's a legit archer, bro.
Yeah.
Duck, to answer your question, that was Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio.
They are twins,
They
though,
look
right?
exactly. Yeah, they look alike.
Yeah, it's one of
Gina
those.
Davis was awesome in The Abyss and Scarface.
And Pretty Woman.
Oh, fuck.
Tiny Dick Man.
Tiny Dick Man.
Tiny.
Finally onto something that's big, huge.
Yeah? What? His cock?
Is it girthy?
boom.
Such an 80s douchebag.
What if he was secretly in love with Goldblum the whole time?
It changes the movie completely.
Well, if you read the novelization,
It's true.
That's a weird. That would be a weird triangle. I would love to see that triangle explored.
Yeah.
There's a
He
triangle
just
right
dives
there.
in the pod.
Teleport. Bye, my monkey. He fucks that monkey.
You're that monkey's thinking, I'm gonna get you back for what you did to me, brother.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
the
I
baboon is the one who puts that fly in.
yes, totally.
He caught it and then
Yep.
shimmied up to the machine.
Also, let's be real. Are baboons known to get fleas? I mean, was this baboon checked? I mean,
You're right. There should have been another transformation. That baboon knew what he was doing.
By the way, how frustrated were you if you were a chick and you wanted to see his dick in this scene? Or if you were just me?
I was gonna say. Yeah.
And
No CGI, man. This is all like in camera smoke. We got
There it
perfect.
is.
Oh, damn it! So close.
I heard that, brother.
Hey, come here. Ugh.
He's naked holding that
It's
thing.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, bro.
He is naked holding that baboon. Just throw that out there.
Oh, to be the camera guy on that scene.
Fly exercise. There, that's what the.
That's what Jeff Goldblum looks like when he's fucking, by the way. If that's Gina Davis, saw that all the
time. This is where the movie gets real good.
I think this is where the battery drops.
It's where the something drops.
By the way, what a weird correlation between this and the second Jurassic Park movie, where his daughter is a gymnast. And she uses that same bar to escape velociraptors.
She kicks them.
Jim Cotta, right, Jay?
Jim Cotta, Kurt Thomas. I kick the ceiling.
You know she's just looking down like, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of
that couch is so wet right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get that reupholstered.
All right, Jay, you ready for the arm wrestling?
I'm ready. I'm
That
fine.
was good, Hobbs. That was good. All right, Jay,
one of
you
the
ready
worst
for this?
scenes of my childhood.
You ready, Greg?
Brutal.
This actor, he kind of looks like Robert. He looks like the guy with the big jaw.
Robert
From
Zadar?
City Slickers?
Robert Zadar, yeah.
You guys ever see that? You ever see when someone spliced that together with over-the-top scenes?
No.
That's awesome.
That's the sequel.
Nails. Or nail, I guess it should be.
Ugh.
What if he was like an android?
Y'all ever have that one zit on like your chin and you get it good and it's the mirror buster?
Ugh. Brundlefly begins.
I'm here.
Stop.
Seth.
I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll die.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Like that. Climbing. I wrote it wrong again. My bad.
No. I just like to say.
I noticed a screw up on this. Is that since he's upside down, the shirt should stay open.
No, it's sticking to his body with the hairs.
Oh, okay.
Disease with a purpose, wouldn't you say?
There you go.
Maybe not such a bad disease after all.
I can't stay.
No.
It ruins the illusion when he jumps down. I think that's awesome.
Oh,
it completes the illusion, I should say.
Yeah.
It's
It's that rotating room.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
just revealed its purpose. We don't have to worry about contagion.
It was really
anymore.
successful in Electric 2,
I know what the disease
Breaking
is.
2, Electric Boogaloo.
So sorry, how they shoot a scene like that is
So what it is if
they turn the room.
Yeah, so everything in that room is secured. So if you look in the background, it's really cool because they have cans and garbage and everything, but everything is completely secure. There's another great movie that does that is Poltergeist, when she's being raped by the ghost and it's pulling her up. It's the same thing.
But Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Electric 2, Boogaloo. He does
Deception.
in the room.
Isn't it always the same room too? Like I heard it's like a stock room in Hollywood that they just changed.
It might be, yeah, because they did it for Billie Eilish did it for her performance on SNL.
Because that's a big
big
set to
thing.
recreate. It'd be best to just have the. What if you were the guy who created the revolving room and that's how you make all your money?
Yeah.
Hold on. So in that scene, he's on the floor, but it's just he's rotating along with it.
Yes. So as the room is rotating, he's moving down the wall, and then when it finally goes to where it's on the ground, that's when he jumps off the wall.
And the camera's fixed, so
it
goes with
so
it.
yeah, it never.
Like the Jamiroquai video.
Yes. I was about to say that.
Very good.
This is my
Give us a push.
Nightmare.
Push it up. Come on. That's it.
No, wait.
There's
wait.
Cronenberg.
No.
Was it larva? That's the word I was looking for. Larva.
Wait. Oh.
Stathis is like, that ain't my baby.
Let's talk about it, guys. In her
Oh
in
God!
her dream, they stabbed us.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that. What were we talking about?
Cabinets.
Cabinet.
Cabinet. Did I spell it wrong again?
No, you're fine.
The cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Is his dick in the back?
Yes.
That is his dick, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm saying that very confidently.
Look at that fucking
Right.
camera,
Yeah,
man. That
what's that little
huge
lump
saw.
right there?
I don't know, but his dick was definitely in there. All right, acting. This is just awesome. Like acting. Thank you. But he does so good.
I'm saying I'm an insect who dreamt he was a man.
Oh, it's such a cool line.
Dude, the
No,
vocal
it's
effect when
tragic.
breathing is fucking amazing.
And the insect is awake.
No, shit.
I'm saying I'll hurt you if you stay.
And the contacts, the black
I'll hurt
eyes,
you if you
like
stay.
just all of it, dude.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Yummy, yummy. Because he's about to eat this shit.
I got staples in my tummy.
He is evil John Ritter.
He's loving it, man. He's like, oh yeah.
Ooh,
yeah. Oh yeah.
You see what I just did?
Yeah. Let me see the ankle. What's great about it was that he's trying to get the gun with his ankle, and he's like, nope.
All right, final transformation. This is a long clip.
Watch his
along
eyes,
with the next
way
one,
his
but-
eyes fade away or
Yep.
like ooze out. It's
Yep,
so
yep,
cool.
yep. You know what's up. That jaw's coming right off, baby. Oh, yeah. Tongue hanging out. It moving still.
Oh,
Oh man!
perfect.
It looks like a little bit of a messed out E.T.
Phone home. All right, so this is the longest clip, the fusion between the Brundlefly and the machine itself, which is just fucking metal as fuck.
Literally.
Oh no!
By the way, what a cool design on the eyes.
Very Giger.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this scene really, really fun because they show that he was still in there.
Yeah, that's through the puppet. Somebody said it earlier. You can still see Jeff Goldblum through this puppet.
Yeah,
You know what I
Jason
mean?
there.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know why, but like the emotion hits because she sells it right here.
Oh
with
my
the
gosh.
hand. That music score sells it too.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
So good.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Jessup's crying.
Oh yeah, I got chills.
Bro, that fucking scene.
And the way it fades away.
That's it.
That's why I kept it.
Oh, so fucking
That's how you
beautiful.
end a movie right there.
Yeah, and they
There's
had,
nowhere to go.
I saw some deleted scenes where like it shows her with Stathis later on, and
Nah.
it just never would have worked, man. It never would have worked. That
No,
was
you
perfect.
ended on that note. You let the audience feel bad for the monster because
Well,
that's
I was telling Jay, it was like leaving that theater because I saw one of the later ones and I saw people coming out and I saw the reactions and it reminded me of when I saw people leaving Jacob's Ladder, where they just they looked like they had just been through a traumatic experience.
right.
You know, it was just like holy shit.
Well, you watch a couple that you enjoy seeing together, and then you watch a transformation, and it's when he made the movie, he wanted it to be comparative to like cancer or something like that.
Yeah.
A non-curable disease is what he had. And so in some ways you're seeing that, you're watching that, you know he's going to die. And so as he gets small victories along the way, like crawling along the wall, or even when she's going to have the abortion, jumping into the window and saying, don't do it. Like you celebrate those small victories. And finally it's a terminal illness. So when you see him go, you see him go. But you, like I said, Jeff Goldblum brings so much goodwill to the character that you appreciate him the whole way through.
But then he also becomes like this an abusive boyfriend though at the end, where he has like that whole, well, if I can't have you, no one will.
But you said it earlier.
I'm gonna murder you basically. I'm gonna
but you blame it on the drug. You blame it on the drug, and the drug.
Oh yeah,
he's
definitely not thinking right. But it's like that abusive boyfriend who's a drug addict, and it's like, well, if I can't have you, no one will. So you're gonna have an abortion? No, you're not. I'm gonna kill you and the baby and myself. Yeah. Which is basically in his mind, he's just he's blending them all together. But that's the thing that's so fucked up, is he knows it's gonna murder her, who she is right now.
And the audience knows it too. And that's the thing, is that's when he becomes the monster. At no point during that ending is he not the monster. Even up to the point where he holds the gun barrel and he puts it up to his head. We all know that's the right decision. But we're sorry to see it happen.
Oh yeah,
especially
and
because
she's still sorry. She's not like, I'm going to kill you. You almost tried to murder me. She's still like, you know. I mean,
it's tragic.
And again, man, fucking Gina Davis, what a performance!
But on top of that, Howard Shore's score sells it too.
It added so much to that scene.
Yeah. That's heartbreaking. Me and Javi were both doing the gun barrel to the head thing as we were watching it, and it's just heartbreaking. It absolutely is. What a great fucking movie!
And isn't it great too, though, that it's here you have this creature, but it's yet the emotion is so human. You know, it's got this weird claw. It's grabbing the gun, but yet you're tearing up.
It's the head tilted down. It's the eyes looking sad.
Does he say "kill me"? Like,
no, that's from the original, and I was wondering if it was in this because I thought it was. Maybe it was in the original cut. I don't know.
He just kind of moans, right? He's just like,
moaning. I just heard him moan. But like the help me is from the original 1958 movie or whatever it is, 54 or whatever it is. But did you guys watch that shit? That'll fuck you up.
I actually saw that on Halloween in like 2000 for the first time, and when he was screaming, "Help me, help me!" I love that the guy's solution was, "I'll tell you what."
Hold on. Set it up. The original fly ends up in a spider's web, and the tarantula-looking spider's coming at him to eat him, and he's screaming, "Help me! Help me!" And there's two characters. One's Vincent Price, and the other one's another guy, and they're just watching it happen. And go ahead, Hobbs.
And I just love that Price's solution is, let me grab this big-ass rock. I know who that is, but I'm going to kill you both. It goes like that.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I saw, speaking of spiderwebs, real quick, years ago, I worked on a tree farm in Florida, and there was I don't know if you guys know what a banana spider is, but it's got a huge body that's yellow and it's massive. There was a banana spider with this giant spider web on this palm tree. Behind it was a wasp nest. And a friend of mine I was working with, he's like, "Bro, check this out." He took a stick, he poked the wasp nest. 3 wasps came out to attack us, hit the spider web, and the spider went boom, 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 tagged each of them, wrapped them up in cocoons, and then went back to his spot. It was the coolest thing I've ever fucking seen.
Oh, it's fucking insane.
Banana spiders are the most venomous spider in the world.
Which is, really?
Yeah.
Holy
you know how close you were to death?
No.
Yeah, no idea.
I was high as fuck.
Oh man. All right, guys. That's The Fly. Let's talk about recommendations. I think we can hopefully all get on board for these recommendations. And then if you guys have any recommendations, we'll go with those too. The first one will be, I guess, American Werewolf in London. Even though Jay had said that werewolves
I did not mean to shit on your ass.
It's
God
okay.
Bless. I'm so sorry.
It's more or less because of the transformation is why I recommend it, because I think that this movie has one of the best creature transformations throughout the entirety of the movie, going from just
Rick Baker
experiencing it, becoming the werewolf for the first time, and then the different transformation scenes. But it's also the character's transformation from just being a kid who's wanted an adventure in England to this murderous creature. And the whole way along the way, you're just along for the ride. I love this movie. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk about it sometime in
Great
the
sex
future.
scene.
Yeah, that's also the other reason I
so
picked
hot.
this. She jumps in the sack with this guy within 10 minutes of the movie beginning.
Love it.
Just like
a
this
nurse
movie.
taking home a patient, breaking so many rules.
I'm just saying, it's great stuff. So definitely check it out. Second movie will be Slither. Yes, more body horror.
Fuck
You
yes.
gotta watch Slither if you've never seen it.
Love Slither.
James Gunn's joint. It totally holds up to this day. What is the guy? Yondu. What's his name? Michael Rooker. He becomes the monster. He becomes the Slither creature.
They were all for sissies.
Oh my god, dude! It's so.
What's that great line where she's like, "I'm so hungry"?
It's at the end of the trailer. Just pull it up.
Have you ever seen anything like that? Me neither. I watch
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Tom Cruise's cousin is in this too.
Something's wrong with me.
Oh
There it is. As a body horror movie, just holds up. It's pretty good stuff.
And it's
I really
funny
like it.
as fuck.
Yeah.
So
James
funny.
Gunn, like I said, he's killing it. I can't wait for Suicide Squad. Actually, Jamie are probably going to go see it if anyone else wants to go see it. Just saying, scooting it up. So, with that said, do you guys have any recommendations?
I do.
What you got?
It's a sing along. It's like a.
I thought you said sing along.
It's a sing along movie. It's called Dr. Horror's.
Also James Gunn, isn't it?
Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along.
There you go, that
the
one.
Joss
With-
Whedon, the Joss
Yeah.
Whedon film.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that's what it is.
With
Okay.
Neil Patrick Harris.
All right, let's pull up a trailer. Oh wait, this is
The whole thing's on YouTube, actually.
it is. The whole thing is on YouTube. Holy shit! What about
I've
it
heard
makes
about
it?
this. I heard this is really good.
What about it though, Hobbs? It makes it.
The songs are fucking great, and like it could be. It's a little bit of a downer at the end, but it's really fucking well done. It's like super low budget, and Nathan Fillion's just like the greatest jackass of all time in this.
We're getting a lot of.
You're on mute, that's why, bro.
Yeah, I muted so we can talk over it. But yeah. So what is it about?
Well, Neil Patrick Harris plays like a wannabe supervillain, and he's trying to get into the League of Supervillains. So, and his whole plan is to like get rid of that hero, to kill him, and all this, and like simultaneously win the heart of the girl that he's like in love with and shit.
Is that Felicia Day?
Yeah.
Yes.
She is smoking hot.
It's definitely a Joss Whedon joint.
All right. Anyone else got a recommendation that goes along with this?
Yeah, Duck.
there.
Will you play the trailer for Society?
Society.
Oh, yes.
Trailer. What year did it come out?
89.
1989.
89.
All right, pulling it up now. Society. All right, there we go. So, what is it about this movie, Jay?
This movie is literally about how the rich eat the poor, and that's about it. And you will just keep watching it.
So
Yeah.
the rich are literally eating the poor in this movie. Oh, wow,
It's
this
how
is a
they
cool
it's
movie.
how they manage to stay ahead of everybody. And
They're young and hot and good looking.
yeah, and so you like it's a class movie on such a super level, and that I mean I don't want to give away too much. It's just it to me, like I don't think you can have a body horror movie that can even come close to this. Like a lot of people consider like was it like
Ooh, hey.
Dead Alive to be like the goriest movie of all time.
Mhm.
This is definitely like the body horrorist of all body horror movies, and when you watch it, you'll see what I mean, especially in the end.
The main character looks like Jared Leto a lot.
The main
Long
character, he was on Baywatch. He was Billy. Oh man, I think his first name's Billy, or maybe his name's Billy in the movie. But you know, it's right at the end of the '80s. It's so classic, you know, Beverly Hills type society. This guy, Billy Warlock, that's his name, Billy Warlock, and you know, he feels like he doesn't quite belong with the rest of his family, and he's just wondering what's going on. And you know, a couple of his friends, you know, they go missing, and then you see him getting corralled here.
It
and
looks pretty crazy.
This is a big high. This is literally a high society meeting. Look at that.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's just one little part. And I like the fact that this is one of those cool trailers that doesn't give you pretty much anything. You got to earn it. But yeah,
I'm down, dude. I'm down to watch that. That looks badass.
It's like an acid trip version of Sale 120 Days of Sodom.
Sure.
Anyone else got a recommendation?
I would just go back and watch Cronenberg's earlier stuff for body horror. Some of his earlier stuff is really, really good. Even Extends and also Naked Lunch is a really good body horror movie too. Yeah, watch that.
Is that David Lynch?
Yeah. I think so. I think Naked Lunch is David Lynch.
How about you, Greg? You got anything?
Well, I mean, it might accidentally be a horror movie, but I would recommend the movie Blindness if you've never seen it. It's about the human condition and what happens when everybody in the world goes blind at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It's a very tragic movie, very sad, but also very, very cool and interesting.
That movie's fucking good.
Blindness is good. That is definitely a good film, and it definitely, when it comes to society, and if we were watching society movies like Jay just pointed out too, that's also plays on that too, on different, I guess not class systems, but just how people would react to that whole situation. That's
what happens when society breaks down.
It's like a thing on the human condition, on human nature.
It's pretty good.
Well, that's what I liked about Sweet Tooth, kind of showing you what happens to society when it breaks down.
Yeah. All right, guys. David, tell us where they can find you on the internet, sir.
Instagram, Children of Dave, Facebook, Stop Motion Nightmares. Check out my shit. And I'll see you guys Wednesday at the Addison Improv.
Sweet. And also you can check out We Are Podcast at wearepodcast.podbean.com. We have We Are Air, We Are Bagu, Heroes, Gyros, everything else. Big thing is you need to come back here every Monday. Check out Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk these horror movies from the past, live at 8 p.m. What is next week? Oh my God, I don't even know.
Is it Dead and Buried next week?
I feel like it is Dead and Buried, but I could be wrong because remember we checked this the other day and I was 100% wrong.
That Dead and Buried is video store 80s horror at its best.
Yes, it is Dead and Buried. So it's David Jessup's pick. What should we say about this movie before they go into it, David? Anything?
It is the video the movie you would find in the horror section of your VHS store that wasn't shown at the movie theater.
Cool. So let's check it out. So next week we'll be back here at 8 p.m. Central Time to talk Dead and Buried. With that said, keep horror in your hearts. Absolutely. Greg, thank you for joining us. You are always welcome to come back on the cast. We're always happy. You are one of the head camp counselors. So hopefully we'll see you again soon. Guys, thank you so much for being here. This has been a blast. With that said, I'm going to cut the feed once I figure out how to do that.
Thanks, buddy.
Keep horror in your heart.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp Slash Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, Heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.